Welcome back, everybody. President Joe Biden in Brew City today. He was visiting Ingeteam, a company that makes electric vehicle charging stations. The president spoke about how Bidenomics is investing in America to grow the economy. His visit to Milwaukee just 8 days before a handful of the Republican presidential candidates will be here for their party's first debate. That's at Fiserv Forum.
So joining us live this afternoon is White House Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. President Biden touted a $7.5 billion investment in EV infrastructure across the country, including along I-94. You can find battery-operated cars, but it really still is a hard sell in the Midwest compared to states like California. How does the Biden administration convince Wisconsinites that investing in clean energy is not only environmentally good, but also economically financial for us all?
Well, you heard directly. First of all, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity. You heard directly from the president. There's a reason why he went directly to Wisconsin to speak to the folks in Milwaukee and to speak to folks clearly in Wisconsin about his economic plan, Bidenomics, and also how investing in America is creating a manufacturing boom. You think about that word, manufacturing, you think about boom. It is amazing what we've been able to do these past 2 years. 800,000 jobs have been created across the country. You think about the 13 million jobs that have been created in the first 2 years of this administration. 150,000 of those jobs were created in Wisconsin. And that's because of Bidenomics. That's because of the Inflation Reduction Act. That's because of the bipartisan Inflation Act. That's because of the CHIPS and Science Act. Now, if you think about this as well, manufacturing in America, companies were leaving. They were leaving, and now they're coming back. $3 billion of investment from these manufacturing companies are happening right in Wisconsin, and that matters. And so the president is talking about this. Yes, we're talking about clean energy manufacturing, but we're also talking about creating good union-paying jobs that is going to matter to the people of Wisconsin, and that's what you heard from the president today.
Let's try the environment again. July was Earth's hottest month ever. Canada's on fire. Hawaii is on fire. The ocean off of Florida is over 100 degrees. What is stopping this administration from doing what many scientists have called for and formally declaring we have a climate emergency on this planet?
Let me tell you, I'm going to be very honest with you. Nothing is stopping this administration. Absolutely nothing. When the president walked into this job, he talked about 4 crises. One of those crises was the climate change crisis and what we were seeing in this country, and not just this country, globally. That's why the Inflation Reduction Act is so critical and is so important, because it is indeed the largest investment in climate energy. That is so important here. You were just talking about electric vehicles. If you think about Ingeteam and what it's going to be doing because of the Inflation Reduction Act, because of the bipartisan infrastructure legislation, they are now going to be developing, as you just mentioned, creating, manufacturing, to be more exact, EV charging stations, which are going to be so important in dealing with the climate crisis. The president has called this an emergency from day one and has taken action over and over again to deal with this issue, not just in this country, but also globally, being a leader in that arena. Because if we don't do something now, then who knows where we'll be. You're talking about extreme weather that we have seen across the country. So the Inflation Reduction Act, which is, we're going to be talking about the 1-year anniversary tomorrow. Again, the American people, not just the folks in Wisconsin, are going to hear directly from the president on the work that we have been doing, not just for the past year, but the past 2 years on dealing on this issue.
Real quick, can you tell us anything new about the status of Travis King, the private from Southeast Wisconsin who is in North Korea right now? Any updates there?
So I appreciate the question. I wish that I had a breakthrough update for all of you. I do not. What I can ensure and promise is that the United States is going to take every avenue to bring home Private King and do everything that we can to get him home safely.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.